guys, Cook with Huma. Today I'm making kofta or meatball curry. I have received numerous requests for this recipe, and once again I apologize. It took me a little bit of time to come back to this recipe. Although I have posted the pictures probably a month ago. Alright, let's get back to our recipe of the day. These are the ingredients I'm going to use for meatball curry or kofta salan. I'm having about 1 pound or 1.5 pound of ground beef. The best ground beef is it has a little bit of fat in it. I couldn't find it, so I'm using lean. If you're using with fat, your meatballs are going to become a lot softer. About 1.5 large red onion. Now I insist that for any kind of curry recipe, do use red onion for your curry base. So 1.5 red onion, about 4 to 5 medium to large roughly chopped tomatoes, 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin powder, 1.5 teaspoon of ginger, it's not 1.5, 2 teaspoons of ginger paste, about 2 teaspoons to 1.5 teaspoon of salt, or according to your taste, 1.5 teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder, half teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of garam masala powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic paste, 2 whole green chilies, 1 tablespoon dried fenugreek leaves. If you cannot find dried, you can use fresh one or frozen. About half a cup of cilantro, about half a cup of mint leaves, 3 hard-boiled eggs, about 1.5 large onion for your meatball. It doesn't matter, you want to take a red one or yellow one for the meatball mixture. So this is separate from the gravy onion, okay? 1.5 large onions and about a cup of oil. And you're also gonna need your food processor. Alright, talking about this recipe a little bit. Everybody makes their own variation of kofta. And the one that I'm making today, it doesn't contain any chana or besan powder. A lot of people, they use about a tablespoon of ground flour in it. I don't use any ground flour in any of my meatball salad. Usually I make it in 3 to 4 different recipes, and but in future I will share all those recipes with you. But I never use any ground flour in any of my meatball recipe. So if you guys like it, go ahead and add that 1 tablespoon of chana or ground flour in it, according to and some poppy seeds if you want, because I don't use any poppy seeds in any of my meatball recipes. So let's get started making our gravy first. And I'm going to add about a cup of oil. We're going to brown the red onion first. I'm going to fry the onion until it becomes golden brown. Okay, this is the color of the onion that we want for our curry. I'm going to turn off the stove and take out this onion from its oil. Now we're going to puree this onion along tomatoes together in our food processor. Alright, now we are going to add this tomato and processed fried onions back in the oil to make our curry for meatballs. our kofta. Alright, now one thing I wanna mention to you guys, that whatever dry spices and garlic paste along ginger paste that I told you the measurement, we are going to take half of it for our curry and half of those spices we're going to use for meatball mixture. Here I'm adding half of the cayenne pepper powder, half of the salt, half of the ginger, half of garlic paste, which is about 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon coriander, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 1 teaspoon garam masala powder. Okay, now we're going to cook this tomato and onion mixture for about maybe 8 to 9 minutes, or until it becomes very thick and the moisture from tomatoes should be completely gone. Okay, our masala or the gravy is perfect to add water now. All the moisture from tomato is pretty much gone. And now I am going to add about 2.5 to 3 cups of water. And I'm going to let it cook for another 20 minutes. Now we're making our kofta mixture. I'm adding onions and our food processor. You don't have to slice it thinly because food processor is going to do it for you. In the meanwhile, add your green peppers too. Okay, and then add your cilantro, along with mint leaves, you're gonna chop it fine. Okay, make sure that you process it until it is still grainy and it won't become, make sure it doesn't become watery, because if your onion becomes watery, it's gonna be way too hard for you to shape the meatball. Alright, take a look that it is grainy, not mushy or very watery. Okay, on top of it now I'm going to add ground beef, we're going to process it again. Adding the remaining ground beef. Well, you can make it with mutton or ground lamb as well if you don't want to make it with beef. Okay, it's done. Alright, now I'm going to add this dried fenugreek leaves and the ground beef mixture, our remaining cumin powder, remaining coriander powder, in goes ginger paste, in goes garlic paste, garam masala powder, turmeric powder, and cayenne pepper powder. We're going to mix it well. Oh, and last but least, our salt. Alright, I'm going in there with my hands. Mix it well. The reason why I don't use ground flour in any of my meatball recipe because it makes it too heavy and too rich. Even if you are eating, I mean, you just ate one, you want to eat more, you're not full yet. It just gives you this feeling of fullness. So I do not like any ground flour chana powder in my meatball. If you want, feel free again, you can add about a tablespoon. Alright, that's all mixed well. Now I have about a cup of water with me here. I'm gonna make my palms wet and gonna shape them in a ball. I don't want to make it too big or too small, just about medium size. And remember one thing, that when beef cooks, it shrinks a bit. Especially if you're using ground beef with fat. Okay, I have shaped all the koftas and now I'm going to drop it in our curry. Okay, I cooked this curry for about 20 minutes or so. So the water has been reduced a little bit. I'm going to add about 1 more cup of water. And gently drop your meatballs one by one. Just like so. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to cook it for another 20 minutes on medium-low heat. Alright, let's check on our meatball curry, our kofta curry. Perfect amount of moisture that I prefer. You want it less curry solid, let it evaporate. And if you want to add a little bit more water, you want a little runny or thin solid, you can add a little bit of water, but to me it looks perfect. Alright, I'm going to dish it out. I have dished out my these meatballs, and I'm going to place these hard-boiled eggs just like so. Sprinkle a little bit of chopped cilantro on top. And sprinkle a little bit of Garam Masala. Alright guys, our kofta salan or kofta curry is ready. I hope you're going to give it a try, and please do not forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys with another recipe. You can also follow me on Instagram, and for those viewers they cannot have access on YouTube, you can also watch my videos on Daily Motion. Please follow me on Daily Motion and share my videos with family and friends. You guys take care. Bye bye.